Mhm. Hey, good evening, guys. Good evening. I got Art coming on here. We were just gonna do a couple more demos to continue the first part of that series with the Trader Daddy option stuff, just to go over some of the other features. It's just a very, very interesting platform, and there's so much stuff on it, but it can be overstimulating, in my opinion, for a lot of people, especially if you're not looking at options and things every day. So I think it was important that we just kind of keep looking at it and different aspects of it, just so people kind of understand how it works and, so that they want to give it a try too. So I think it's going to be very interesting going into this next week. We did have or OPEX today, just the large amount of monthly options expiring, which was causing some interesting stuff with the price action on top of some changes, or lack thereof change, I should say, in China for geopolitical stuff. So I think next week will be interesting, and we'll have to see if it's more of a put or call week, depending. I think we're going to get a gap down in the futures, and then we're going to see a nice little rally on Monday, but we'll see. Art, is it working for you?
It is, and for the sake of having my camera on, give me just 1 second. I'm actually going to plug it in because I got to start using the camera anyways.
Sounds good. Sounds good. It's the reveal. But yeah, this will be great. I was giving just a rundown of kind of what we're doing and why. So with the Trader Daddy stuff, it's a great tool, but there's so much going on that you really need someone sometimes to just kind of tell you how each thing works and what it's actually used for. So we're gonna get a little rundown of that.
Okay, well, that is way too close to my face. And I can't switch it back because.
We can see you though. We can see you.
All right, how do I. Yeah, it's like on the edge of my computer screen. But
I got to get one too for my, cause I stream on a laptop, but my training setup's dual monitor. I need to get a webcam and stuff, and I want to get one of those, those like lights you put on the wall. That's like it's for like your brand, but it's like a glass light that lights up. I want to get one of those for
yeah,
Hidden Gem. So I got to get one of those for the wall at some point, just for all the live streams that we do. I think it'd be fun. Yeah, whenever you're ready here, we will get started.
yeah, I was just looking at, interestingly enough, when I look at like a preview on any other application, I am zoomed out, but here it's like straight in my face, but it's fine.
We
So,
can at least see we can see your shoulders and face at a couch. I don't know what's. I think we're about the same zoom, something like that.
good
Yeah,
enough. We'll
good
take it.
enough.
Good enough. Alrighty. Let me share screen then.
Yeah, let's. So last time we covered just like the main screen. So you had like your unusual options activity. You had kind of the play of the day in terms of like what was the largest trade. And then of course, top tickers traded, and then a couple things with like more technical analysis with column like put walls for resistance and support, and like the heat map for kind of what's hot right now for buying and selling, or longing or shorting via calls or puts. So today, what do we want to touch on?
So, what I was thinking is we do a quick review again of unusual activity, and then we jump into the scanner, see if we can see some breakout plays here. And we will also look at the sector analysis to see kind of what sectors have been set up now for next week and take it from there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, cool. So, quick recap of the main page, right? This page is probably what's going to be most interesting to a lot of users and kind of how do you use this page and what are the benefits of it. So, the main items here that you want to really be focusing on is largest trade, top traded tickers, and top flows of the day. So, the largest trade will show you the single largest executed trade in terms of options flows. Most of the time, a lot of users take this trade as long as it aligns with their thesis and technical. So in this case, you can see that someone is playing for Monday uh, Tesla puts at 440, right? So positioning there. The only thing is they took this actually at 9:54 a.m. Eastern, as you can see here. So if I will go and swap over to my charts,
And
Uh,
yeah, that would have been a play for Friday. 'Cause, yeah, if we go and look at Tesla today, it did open up pretty high, but then went all the way down. I believe like 418. So that trade definitely went absolutely berserk. I mean, that went straight through the strike, and then $10 and $20 into the money. So those ones absolutely paid today.
yeah, so if we quickly go on the 15-minute chart here, right? Someone played this around open, so past this candle, bounced up, bounced up, bounced up, closed lower. So whether that person is out of the trade or not, we do not know yet, but they're definitely already in profit as of close. And if we do get a gap down going into Monday's open, this would be a successful trade for whoever bet 48 million on the trade. So that is the single biggest trade. You will also see other large trades here. So we have somebody playing SPY calls, NVIDIA calls, QQQ calls, and Tesla calls. I do want to make a small change here so that it also shows the time, right? I think seeing the time is really helpful for context. Most of these were opened on the pop we had, as we had an intraday SPX OPEX pop, right? So we did get some nice price action here, where for a 0 DTE, this would have easily been 100x. Very large volume going into close there, by the way. The size of the candle shows the volume of the candle, and that is a very fat and bearish looking candle, so not ideal for next week. But again, we'll see how it plays out. Maybe we get a nice tweet over the weekend.
Yeah, and for anything like the timing, especially when you're doing like any short dated calls, whether that's like 0 DT or a week or two out, like you definitely want timing of when things happen, because with the shorter time frame means you need to react quicker to actually catch the move. So yeah, that's key that we have that, and it's nice just to have that on the left as well. So actually exactly when these trades came in, EST time, to see, okay, does this still make sense based on the chart to enter a trade there, whether that's going long or short, depending on what you're seeing on the options flow.
Exactly. So then down here you have the actual options chain flow itself for the day, right? So what a lot of users like to do here is they like to filter by positions opening, right? So fresh positions, and then they filter the premium to be 5 million plus. And then based on that, you can kind of keep this open on your screen throughout the day and see what flows are coming in.
And I actually like a million too. Like sometimes just because a lot of times like the 5 million, it's going to be your Mag 7, it's going to be your QQQ, it's going to be your SPY, and sometimes it's things like XOM, like energy, like these really big large cap companies. But a lot of times you can find really good plays between like 500K and a million, especially if it's something that's smaller that the share price is lower, like something like DraftKings, for example. That one I called on the earnings play, that was probably, I think it was like 3 blocks of like 200 to 800, and maybe one that was like $1 to $2 million of premium. And that was, out of money, and expiration was about a week out. And those ones absolutely ripped up and gapped up. So like, that's the cool thing is, yes, the 5 millions are great for, high confluence trades, especially like intraday on Mag 7, but there's value everywhere. You just got to kind of be looking at the flow, and then kind of see what's out there and what makes sense and what seems unusual, because that's usually where you're going to find smart money that knows something that the public doesn't.
Exactly. So in this case, I was showing Oust. It had 1 million in flows, and that played out really nicely, right? Came down, massive gap down, hit the 2.5 standard deviation of the Kettler channel, and then from there reversed and got a nice pop. And someone is probably still in this long. I think Oust has been really popular lately with a lot of users. So that covers this page, right? I will move on to the next one. I think we want to keep it brief tonight. This Friday night. So that is the main page of interest. And if you want to view this, but on a more per ticker basis, you can actually come here to the flow analysis and look at the heat map. So the way that this page works is it's a lot more visually appealing to users, and it's a quick representation of seeing where are people betting on positioning of flows, bullish or bearish. And you can come in here, right, and you take a look what is glowing the most green and has the most bullish percentage. So real quick, what pops out to me: UPS 97% bull, 6.2 million, and Cisco 9.2 million, 98% bull. So right here, quickly we came in here, right, saw the bullish flows. Let's check the chart itself. I'll go in the daily. UPS is the first one. So this is one of those contrarian plays by the looks of it. Right, so you can see on my screen 98 is the put ball that held here, held again today. So it looks like someone is playing for a continuation to the upside. We've seen this before with Meta when me and JT were filming, right? Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Where's my long position? So you can do it open for Monday if you were following a play like this, a very tight stop, right? And then you can target all the way up here for almost a 1-to-3 risk to reward ratio. Because someone is betting that this is the bottom and this is going to continue up to at least the top of the range where this massive engulfing bearish candle is. And that is potentially play number one. We can, watch it play out next week. The other play is Cisco. So let's take a look at Cisco.
And I was going to say you can even show it too within Trader Daddy because I mean there's that whole charting tool in there with a couple indicators, and then as well as the put and call walls as well. So you don't even need technically like a Trading View subscription. Obviously, like for me, I'm trading futures and things, and for my job, I need Trading View. But I mean, this has quite a bit of information in terms of everything you would need right here within the app, which is pretty cool. Which almost makes it. I mean, unless you're actively trading futures or something through TradingView, you don't really need a TradingView subscription with Trader Daddy, in my opinion. Maybe it's not as customizable, but I think less is more sometimes on charts, and this already gives so much information.
Yeah, so one thing you're not going to get on TradingView is these gamma walls, right? You have your call gamma, your gamma flit, and your put gamma. And the way that these work is basically as long as you are above the gamma flip line, dips get bought and you're more likely to be bullish, and then the call gamma acts as the wall and magnet going into close. So in this case, you can see we were above the gamma flip line, so we are on the bullish side of things, and we got pinned to close right under this call wall for OPEX today, May 15th. Next week, if you go back to the same chart, you're going to see that the call gamma is going to be recalculated for the next expiration date, which for UPS is a weekly one. And that's going to be the next line of resistance. And if you want to play the play that I just showcased, you want to see UPS above the gamma flip line. So as long as we're above this 97.80, this is actually more likely to be bullish than bearish. And on this page, for users, there's a lot of really good information. Now we give you an about, we give you the key financials, the profitability, dividends, so on and so forth. We give you the option sentiment based on the market. So we have an internal formula which shows you if the general sentiment is bullish or bearish. So we can see it's bullish for UPS. And then we also try to showcase in general technical terms, are you timing a good entry or not? So if a stock is very overextended. So if we take something like, let's say, Mu, right, which we know has been very overextended up until recently. Last time we did this video, this said wait, and now it's actually saying good entry. So because we got this massive gap down, it's actually telling you that if you wanted to slowly start accumulating mu and DCAing, now is your chance, right? Because before we were parabolic, and now this is the start of a range formation. That's just how stocks move. So what you want to do here is you want to see where the bottom of this range is formed, and then start DCAing into the range for the next leg higher, right? I think JT also believes mu is going to go to 1,000. If that's the case, it's going to need some consolidation here, probably between the 650 and 800. That's the range that's showing based on the gamma walls. And then from there, it can blast off to 1,000. So you get all of that here in Trader Daddy. You can, another way of seeing the gamma profiles. And then we also have a tactical options grid showing you if it's best to be selling calls, buying calls, selling puts, so on and so forth. So I think that covers both of these pages actually. And option sentiment from you is neutral, so people aren't really sure if it's bullish or bearish. It might just start getting choppy, which is why I said range is a probability.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool right now, just as we're doing this, to go through one of the live trades that I have active right now and kind of how I position myself today to actually take that. So if we're just going onto just the heat map again and then looking on there, you'll see on there AVGO was there. So AVGO is bullish right now. Obviously, the option sentiment is near 50-50. Earlier in the day, though, it actually was much greener. And so what I did was I kind of looked at that and I'm like, oh, AVGO, you got semiconductors, you got going with the trend that the market's been going up. And I went in there just to look at like what we had. So as you can see it like here, it's insane bullish continuation occurring. You can see that we did have a pullback, but we were above the put, the gamma flip line as well as the put wall. And right now, this just looks like a fantastic setup for me in terms of bringing it to around 450. So once I saw that, I went, hey, let's see what's going on with the actual order flow. So then I went over to options flow and then unusual activity. If you could pull that up, Art. And then I just went to AVGO to say, hey, what's going on with AVGO today? So I put that, and then right there, that's what I took my trades off of. Was actually there was one from yesterday, and then there was one today. There was no, it was okay. It was yesterday was the 440 because I DCA'd in. There was 440 calls that looked really good with the call gamma line, the call resistance. And then there was a huge amount of premium that came in for AVGO today, for calls for, I believe, what was it, May 26th, that aligned with the 440s, which gave me essentially enough conviction to go into DCA in for some more AVGO calls.
Yeah, this is a great example. And if I go back to the ticker search just to kind of articulate the power of the gamma flip line and kind of how you should actually continue with this play, these levels are all that really matters. And as you can see here, we held above the gamma flip. So buyers are saying we're still in control. And based on the open of Monday, this is your best dead giveaway of how to continue this play. Because if we open and we keep holding above this gamma flip, you're likely to see continuation next week into 450, especially if the overall market turns bullish. Now, if you see a close below this gamma flip, that would be your sign to exit the play. So oftentimes traders don't really know what is my line in the sand for entry and exits. This is it, the gamma flip line. As long as you're above that, you're good. Once you start breaking below that, that's your sign that your trade is weakening and you should get out and you shouldn't overhold.
Exactly. And it looks like it was actually playing well into that. Also, just like there was a definite amount of support near that put gamma line, so like the put wall. It does look like price is bouncing pretty aggressively off that. There are some lower bottom wicks, but overall, it does appear that we are still in a nice uptrend. I mean, that volume from Thursday, of course, like the entire stock market was ripping, but oh my goodness, that is a ridiculous amount of bullish volume coming in. So right now, I mean, I'm just really looking to play the trend, and then I'm looking for confirmation on Trader Daddy and options order flow that I am on the right side of the trade, just the side of the trade that's with smart money. You have to understand the stock market is mainly manipulated by algorithms. People are not making money. Retail traders are, especially ones that are trading often, are mainly unprofitable because they don't have tools that smart money does. I mean, my thing is, why would you want to just 50-50 buy or sell something alone? You need to be using data and institutional order flow that the institutions are using to actually make money. You know, it's just like I feel like if you don't, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. You can always hold long, and you can always buy indexes. There's nothing wrong with that. Long term, that's going to be fantastic. But if you're trying to actually do this actively and get an edge, you got to have something like this, in my opinion. At least for someone that does this for their job. Like that's kind of why I originally reached out to you guys, was because you showed me everything that Trader Daddy can do. And as someone who enjoys trading, does it for their job, but also it's one of my it's one of my biggest hobbies. This was it for me.
And something else I do want to show here. So, Trader Daddy Pro really tries to give traders an edge in all categories, including warnings about the markets. So, today there was some credit stress, and I just wanted to showcase that here in the sector analysis. We have our overall scoring. We're still obviously in a bull market, but you do see a couple things that were flashing red today. So, you have your KREs, your regional banks, they're starting to turn bearish. Bonds went bearish today, and then your 20-year treasury yields are rising. So that's just something to keep in mind, right? VIX rose today as well. We have a dedicated page kind of showing you the market starting to price in risk off or risk on. So just based on today, there is some risk off coming in. And again, that lets traders position, going forward. Next week, even if we do open green, maybe it's not the best idea to go, ape everything into calls and think we're going back to new all-time highs, right? Have a little bit of protection, have some hedges active, and if we take a look at the general sector flow for today, you'll find that literally nothing was bullish aside from energy. And energy is straight risk off, especially when it's up 2.36%. That is a major risk off play in terms of positioning. So, again, just something to keep in mind for next week, right? You have all of your risk on sectors, semis, technology, banks, they're all bearish.
I would say it's just, yeah, it's a helpful tool just to kind of paint the picture of the general macro environment. So obviously you have to look at a lot of stuff like geopolitics, what's going on in the world, what's going on with materials, equities, oil, things like that. And right now we know, right, the strait is closed. Yes, they're getting some ships through, but I wouldn't say it's open. It's still a very big problem that's squeezing, oil, which obviously if you go to the gas pump, your gas is extremely expensive, which is leaking into every other aspect of life because they need that for everything, which is, squeezing things like OXY that I called out, Oxy, and then XOM, Xo Energy. It kind of just helps you figure out where the money's flowing and then how to predict it. So instead of like needing Yahoo Finance, you can go in here and say, okay, what sectors are either bullish or bearish, risk on, risk off, and then why. So just as an extra added confluence.
Yeah, you can always source from the sector into the stock. So if the sector is bullish, there's higher likelihood of stock bullish continuations, and you can go off that. I think it's just a matter of trying to learn the platform, joining our Discord. Something I actually want to show here. So we have the breaking out page, but we also have a bunch of our data flowing every day for premium members into Discord. So I'm going to stop sharing and actually reshare screen because my screen was connected to not my window, but the Chrome tab. So now I pull up Discord. Nope, not that. That is definitely not what I wanted to pull up. There you go, Discord. Is it showing Discord? No, it's not showing Discord. Okay.
No, we're seeing just Trader Daddy. Yeah, that's the thing is there's just so much on the platform, but I think it can look just intimidating to people that are just trying it out. But and that's why it's important to do videos like this, right? To go over how each thing works and then kind of separate them all into little pieces and little like YouTube shorts and things like that, just so people can understand, okay, this is what I'd use this for. And then I guess also connecting it to people that are just investing and holding shares, because this site can also be used for that, right? If you're DCAing, buying or selling based on the call and put gamma lines of extreme resistance or support, I mean, that can be an amazing entry or exit if you're just trading shares. So I think just kind of letting people know that you can use it for more than just options is really helpful. And it's like a great tool for that because you can't get that on Robinhood. You can't get that on Yahoo Finance. You can get that on TradingView. like that call put gamma lines. I think, I mean, those, yeah, those came from a third party source. Like you can't, that's like institutional data. You can't get that just on other indicators. I don't believe.
Yeah, you need internal data to calculate those, and you need to have an agreement with Oprah for the flow data. And the other part of TD Pro that we really care about in terms of our users is just optimizing time, right? We're all busy, and I think the one thing we all want to get back is time. So I just wanted to show you, we have the breaking out page that I was just showcasing here, but there's an even easier way to view this. So you come into our Discord and we actually embed the chart. And I was telling this to the guys today. This is a new feature. I can look through this right now within 5 minutes. So let's take a look together here, right? So QTTB, all right, not a bad chart. Might note it for later. MVSTS, we don't want to play bearish breakouts. Tallow, right? Look at this. I know my screen's a little small, but you can see the green candles. That looks
Mhm.
like a beautiful breakout, right? I would put this on my radar. AMC breaking down. I mean, it's AMC, right? Doesn't really matter. Uh, let's look at for the bullish breakouts. FANG energy,
Right.
right? That another beautiful chart, right? Another chart for the watch list going into Monday. FNV breaking down. I don't like shorting in a bullish market, so we're just going to be skipping the bearish breakdowns. But that does look valid, right? One, two, three, four. The fourth tap of this 225 level. If this is to break, that's gonna break a nuke, right? That's just the way that these support lines work. I mean, if you retest it 4 times, if it doesn't hold and it breaks below Monday, this is going down. So super valid put play here as well.
And then what I would do with this is, when I'm going and I'm looking at these breakouts, trying to find something I like just based on the chart, what I'll do is I'll just go in, take the ticker, put it into the unusual activity, and see, okay, what are institutions doing? Are they, do they agree with the bias of, like, for Tallow, is that a bullish breakout, or for the one that was breaking down, are they buying puts? Do they think it's going to go down? Like, I'm before I'm taking any plays on Trader Daddy, I'm always verifying that there is institutional movement going on favor of my bias. So if I'm not seeing that and I'm seeing an inverse, something looks good, but they're doing the opposite, I'm just not taking the trade because I want my thesis to align with what I'm seeing in the order flow. So that's key. And that's what you do. That's how you, like, trade futures, trade anything. You need multiple confluences. Even with, like, the Ondas thesis, there's multiple confluences, things going in to create my thesis of why I think I'm correct to give me the highest probability of success. So you want to combine multiple tools and use multiple tools on the site, and it makes it easy to do that and then take the trade. So that's how I've had such a high success rate in the last, like, 2 weeks doing Trader Daddy, just because there's so many tools, and when you use them in combination, uh, it's very powerful. It's got a very good chance of being correct.
For sure. And we can actually take a look at the flow here for snow as an example. But, again, valid breakout, right? As I go through this, and we're just going to focus on the bullish ones, valid breakout. So that took, aside from us talking, you can scroll through this within 5 minutes of time, right? And there you go. You have your plays. You don't need to go in the charts. You don't need to analyze. We do it for you. Some people don't like being on the website all day. A lot of users use Discord, they're in here talking, being in the general chats. We give you the flows in here, right? Like we give you the best setups. As an example, MSTR had a lot of flows today. Coin had some flows, right? MU actually was bearish on the day, so bearish flows. We give you the ability to be tagged on all of these flows, and then continue and look at the plays. So if I go back to the platform now, right? Let's say we're talking about snow, and I check in here. Let's do for this week. All right, so what do we have? So we had some calls that were closing. Somebody took profit today on the pop, and then somebody else opened some more calls into close. So not too much confluence, right? So from there, we can then go to the ticker search and try to find our confluence using the walls. So why did someone take profit today? Well, here you go, right? The call gamma was at 160, popped up, whoever was positioned in advance, these candles quickly took their profit, got the nice pop. Once
Perfect rejection off that.
Yeah, they work like magic. They really are just magnets, and then they act as support or resistance. And in this case, again, we went for it because we're above the gamma flip. Like once we went above the gamma flip, we went straight to the call wall for OPEX for today's expiration, May 15th. That person probably took profit, and now someone else is positioning for next week. So Monday open comes, you're going to see these lines reset, right? Everything's going to be recalculated based on the next expiration date, so next Friday, and then you can position based on that. But it's a layered system, and it takes a little bit to get used to it. But once you know how to use this website, you can find confluences in so many different locations.
And that was my exact thesis of like AVGO is, I got those 440 calls and the call gamma line is right at 450, which is the exact spot I wanted to take profits. Now I know if I'm seeing that tick up, tick up, tick up, tick up Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever I'm still in that trade, the second it goes to like 450, I got my limit still right there because maybe I'll leave a runner right in case it keeps going and just the bullish continuation is very strong. But that's how I know when to take a majority of my profit is when it's actually reaching that call gamma line, or if I'm shorting it and I'm buying puts, then it reaches that put gamma line. So yeah, that's probably my favorite tool and something I've been posting on like after hours, just this screen because I just love this chart. Like I do my TA on TradingView, but I just love the call and put gamma as someone who's trading every day. Like that is just a beautiful tool to kind of give me an idea of maybe okay, where is a good take profit, where is a good entry potentially, where is a good exit, things like that. So yeah, I'd absolutely love that added confluence.
And I think we can wrap up and take questions after this.
Sure.
Again, it's Friday, but another example, I just pulled up Tesla, and I admit this was my mistake. So I actually got into Tesla on this candle right here at 410. I bought some shares. I bought 50 shares of Tesla. And because it's equity, I was like, okay, I'm just going to hold because I don't really care. Except when this drop happened today, all of a sudden, I stopped caring. And then I go and I look at the Tesla call gamma and I see it rejected 450 times. Like this was my chance by the system I'm teaching you guys right now to take profit. I mean, again, perfect example. We were above the gamma flip. We went to 450. We rejected it, right? This was my take profit. I should have sold my 50 shares. Then all of a sudden we gap down. We go below the gamma flip. And what do you see? Bearishness, right? Once below the gamma flip, selling is amplified. And now, potentially, as long as we stay below the gamma flip next week, we can go back all the way to 410. I actually sold today for at least some profit, but in theory, if we go back all the way to 410, I would have been break even, and I would have just given up this entire move by being greedy and not using the system. And it's clear here, right? One, two, three, clear rejection.
It was actually the same thing for me today. I mean, today was like my first day where I had just some losses based on my own conviction with the LLY and AMGN. But if you just go and take a look at both of those, they were both like well above I guess more LLY was like just already sitting at that call gamma line and it just had no gas in the tank at like pre-market. So I probably should have gone over there, looked at that, and been like, hey, this is looking overextended. Like with what's going on pre-market with everything happening with the bearish nature of just today's plays and then OPEX, I should have just gotten out immediately instead of hoping to let those ride out. And that would have, saved me quite a bit of money if I exited those just based on the call gamma line and realizing that, this is already overextended. So yeah, just stuff like that. Like this is alone, just the call gamma, put gamma. I swear you could just sell just that, right? You could just have that be your platform and that would be huge. But it's just like another great tool you can use within the site to help. So I mean, I like heat maps, I can unusual activity, and I like the charts for the call and put gamma lines. Like that's all I need on top of my own TA to really make a lot of plays and make real money in that Discord. So yeah.
And one last thing, I do want to clip this for later, just an educational lesson for everyone in here. Call gamma and put gamma lines are extremely powerful, specifically on OPEX. They have even more value on OPEX than they do on a regular week because that is when the options market expires and that is when market makers take profit for that expiration date. So market makers don't really play the weeklies. they play OPEX. And so that's why what you see here, when we got above the call gamma wall, market makers don't want you above this for expiration date, especially on OPEX. And guess what happened? We finished right below it. Doesn't matter if it was 10 cents below it, we finished below it. And that's all that matters for them to make money. And that's what a lot of people don't know. I mean, this is more advanced, but that's why LLY didn't play out, was exactly this reason, because it was just capped to not go above this 10-10 level. And when it does finally break the call gamma, that's usually when you get short squeezes. So if you've ever seen just monster rallies where it goes for like 4 or 5 days straight of straight bullishness, that's because it's broken a call wall, and the market makers are forced to cover, and the way they cover is by buying back. And if they're buying back, it keeps pushing price, up, and that's what a short squeeze is. So just a little lesson for everyone here, and I think now we can take some questions if that's good with you, JT.
Yeah, let's do some questions. We'll wrap it up and then, do a couple more of these. These are fun. I like doing these, and I would like to do some live trader daddy trading, maybe sometime. Well, gosh, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, you're in the office, so I might just have to do it myself. Maybe I'll see if I can get Mike on. But I think it'd be fun just to do, look for some plays live and work some magic during the day.
Yep. We
So I
actually
know
had
you
Laura
questions
join.
from Benny earlier too. Oh yeah, we'll have to get Laura's question for Laura's. I know Sensor Guru and Benny asked a question. Benny asked, "Can heat map be filtered like unusual activity flow?"
No, because there is nothing to really filter, so it's a default built-in algorithm we have for which flows we show up here, and it's just the largest, generally speaking, largest flows and largest ticker. So as you can see, there is no filter here. This is all predefined, and we just give you the heat map of, most bullish flows for the day, most bearish flows, and then just things that were kind of neutral where you had both bull and bear, and it kind of didn't matter.
In terms of things with like very like high activity, correct? Or how do you, I guess,
Correct. Yeah.
pick what stocks to be on the flow heat map?
It's in terms of activity and actual flows. So as you can see, you, everything here, you're not seeing any small flows, right? We're not looking at 500K here. We're not looking at 1 million. Basically, everything here is 5 million plus. So that's how I'm going to describe it, is at a minimum 5 million plus in flows, and then as well as the actual flow activity. So it had a good amount of inflows, outflows, or just, a combination of both.
Sounds good. And I saw, yeah, Sensor Guru asked, I find it hard to determine when a large trade was placed. I can see the expiration, but not the time it was executed. Is there a way to do this? I believe it. I mean, it should just show you the time it was executed right on like the unusual activity. It should say
Yeah,
right
so
there.
the largest trade shows literally after this video, I'll update this one right here, top 5 flows, to also show the execution time. And then in general, here's your time. This is within 5 minutes of the data actually going through, by the way. So there is some delay from the instant placement to the site, but it's less than 5 minutes, and that's based on the contract we have with the data provider. And every options flow platform uses the same provider because there's only one, there's a monopoly. So all of them have that slight delay, but it's less than 5 minutes. So if somebody entered, let's say 325, you can assume that they realistically entered between 3:20 and 3:25 p.m.
And I'll say the other cool thing is, so I don't believe Mike's on, but Art and Mike are, the devs of TradeReady Pro, and they made tons of great changes that were requested by members. And if it's like something that makes sense and it's like majority vote on, okay, this is something that wants to be added, like there's potential for separate things to be added. So it's just there's always updates that can be made. I know like we're kind of moving towards everything's finalized, but if it's like small things that's a great change, or bring up an idea that's a fantastic idea, like it can be implemented, which is really cool. So that's something I'd appreciate, is I've gone through it and asked for a couple things, and man, like this even from 2 weeks ago, like there's so many extra pieces that I'm just very impressed by.
Yeah, we try to take requests daily, and anyone who's in the Discord will verify that. But being part of the group also means you get to be part of all of our future projects and other things that we do. So we don't just run Trader Daddy Pro, we have multiple side projects that we're involved in. Our Discord members are aware of some of them, and this one we kind of showcased to you just today. We do track the sentiment and trade positioning of our Discord members. And JT, look at you, the top caller.
What do we got here? Yeah, I saw it popped up. What is this? Is this just okay? Moo. Yeah, we got. I don't know why. Yeah, the Ondas this week. We hit Ondas very well with the calls and puts. So what? Yeah, what are we looking at here exactly? Because this is new
So
for me. I'm just seeing
yeah,
this now.
the way this works, and this isn't public or official, but we have something for the live options flow here where you may click I'm watching. And when you click I'm watching, that is our sign that you are shouting out a play. And so what we do is every time a member of our platform clicks I'm watching, we put them into a little video game on the back end where we assign this position and this play to your name. And then we will track the outcome within a certain time period for the play. So we know, who makes the best callouts based on the live options flow, and you're currently number one. And
Over
I
here.
don't know anyone else who does anything remotely similar, and I think it's really, really cool.
And I know I have my own instructor channel in the Discord where it does like post my plays, and then I also give my highest confidence plays to Substack as well. But yeah, I think it's really cool. I was really happy that you guys welcomed me into that community and gave me like my own like mini platform in there because I want my Substack community, my After Hour community, and now the Trader Daddy community all to intermix and find value where you can. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to make money. It's also a hobby. I have a lot of fun and just I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing trading. But I think a lot of people here, are to make, we're here to make money, right? That's what trading is. You're investing to increase the amount of money you have. So, as many tools as we can use to kind of get the job done and just different opinions from others is fantastic. Like your Discord, I mean, I think there's 3 or 4 people in there that, there is some connection between my Substack and there, but there's a couple that I hadn't met before that were having just amazing plays. I know like Thirsty Tormund, he was putting out some cool stuff and he was just talking about the platform. And yeah, I know it's just cool to meet new people and meet others that are like passionate about this kind of stuff. And I've just been really impressed with the Trader Daddy platform. And I hope to keep bringing value to you guys and then bring value to my subscribers too. Yeah.
For sure. And one
What else,
last thing
people?
for you, JT, just a little lesson on the live options flow. So there is a score category. The way that we do this is we have an internal algorithm where the one thing where we try to be better than someone like Unusual Whales is they have more tickers, right? They have a more established system. But what we have is an internal baseline algo calculation. And what that means is it will show you based on the scoring system what's considered normal for a stock. So for coin, for example, 4 million came in. You see the score, it's not really a different color, it's just 4 million came in. So it's a large premium, but 4 million is not unusual per se for a coin. On the scale of the liquidity, that's not anything crazy. Now over here you can see 100 and you have 17.7 million. That is considered unusual for IWM. So something like this actually quickly flashed to my eyes.
Hmm.
They closed their puts here going into this weekend, which makes, very logical sense since we have a president who likes to tweet and move the markets on Sunday night. But when you do this, do look for things that are kind of lit up, and that will be the most unusual.
And what
Uh,
time did that come in at? That came in towards the end of the day, right?
the close of IWM came in, yeah, basically right at the where is it? Right at the end of the day, yeah.
And I'm just looking at Russell. I mean, we had a huge gap down, right? It was down 2.5% today. And they closed those right before, which makes you think, okay, I mean, they're taking risk off the table. They might think there's a reversal. And let you guys get in on a little secret. When I'm looking and checking for these plays, a lot of the time I will like sort my searches by the institutional grade stuff. So 95 plus. And there's a reason they're 95 plus. So there's a reason I've apparently top one in this leaderboard. is because I'm going with those plays that are unusual, that don't make sense, but they make sense to someone, and they're usually right. So that's the little secret is search by the scores. The scores matter. Look for 95 plus. Sometimes it'll be like, triple Q and SPY, and that's, less that's I guess harder to determine for like intraday trading in my opinion. Like I'll use that for futures trading, but if I'm seeing some random stock on there that's got 90 to like 105 score, I'm in, right? I'm like, okay, there's something going on here. That was how I called oh man. It was the one that dumped on earnings overnight, like over 10%. I don't remember what it was. It was from a week or 2 ago. And it was just a beautiful score. Like it was like 115 or something. It was actually purple. It was like towards the top scores. And that thing dumped like, yeah, 10-15% overnight on puts. Yeah. So
So
I absolutely love the score.
yeah, here's an example of if you really layer everything perfectly and you take into consideration the score, Nvidia put, right, super unusual. Someone played, opened yesterday, playing for the 18th. Well, I don't need to tell you what happened between yesterday and today, right? So somebody made bank. So just as an example, especially when that score is glowing, that's even high probability. Um, if I take a look at another one, like what's high in this list, we have Nvidia, another put here, right? Opening Nvidia bearish 107. What else do we have that's high? Right here, NBIS put opening 107, right? Again, we went down. IWM taking profit here into close. I can go through all of these, but realistically, when the score is high, that's even better. So just layer your confluences, take the plays, and the probability is 100% in your favor. And I think we can wrap up with that.
Yeah, man. I mean, I get excited every time we do one of these live streams because I'm just like, this is helpful. I mean, we've been printing a good amount of money. It's also been good for my like Substack plays, but like there's not many tools out here like this for this, I guess, cost. And if you actually can utilize it, and that's what we're trying to do with these videos, I mean, the sky's the limit for what you can do for yourself, right? In terms of making money. So yeah, no, I absolutely love this tool, and I'm excited to do more of these videos with you and kind of just go over each one, and hopefully we can bring more members. Yeah, do like third parties, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, because I want to get this in as many people's hands as we can, without letting institutions in on it to short us somehow. But yeah, man, I love these. I'm excited for more.
Really appreciate you letting me be on here and wishing everyone a wonderful weekend. Don't forget, guys, the weekend is your time to spend with friends, family, loved ones, reset from the charts because, trading isn't y- the end of everything. It's more of a dopamine rush. So, make sure you take care of what matters first and make sure you're in good mental health so that you can trade.
Then we come back Monday and make that money. Absolutely. I'm excited. I'm feeding. I gotta chill. I gotta get off the charts, but the work doesn't stop for me. But man, I can't wait to get used Trader Daddy Sunday night just for some future stuff, and then get going Monday morning again for some options activity. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll be here. We'll be ready, and we'll be. I mean, that Discord's so active. Like my Substack Discord is active. I'm putting things in there every day, but the Trader Daddy one as well. I mean, we're talking plays all day, every day in there too. I'm trying to take a bigger role in there as an instructor, but yeah, man, it's a great community. So you guys aren't in there, check it out. Try a free trial, try just the free version, see what you think, and we'll keep making content so you can utilize this as good as we can, I think. So yeah, have a great night, everyone. Thank you, Art. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right, guys. Bye.